What the frickin' frick was that? And this might be a little controversial to say, especially for women that don't want to have kids. If you are willing to get it out, someone is willing to pay for it. If you are going to divorce your husband, get yourself an older guy. Only way to settle this is to get really, really petty.
Hi, welcome to another hour. Another hour.
Welcome to the Nappy Hour, the place where you tell me all about your fucked up lives and I tell everyone, just like real friends. So open your ears and let me feel them feel of shit. Advice. Oh, baby girl is moving and she's grooving, all right? Honey, listen, I know you're excited to be on air, but you need to relax. Now, what I haven't done so far is a second trimester roundup. Now, believe it or not, I'm nearly at the end of my third trimester. Nice and on time, as always. So I thought we could get into it. How was the second trimester for me? Let's talk about it. You know, weird body changes that no one talks about. No one tells you about the itchy skin. Does anyone else suffer with itchy skin? I understand when the belly's itchy because it's like stretching. It's quite a lot of skin to be stretching, and the tits, itchy tits. But why the hell do I have itchy ankles and itchy fingers? Like, can you guys just stop stretching? Stop it. My ankles are so itchy. I keep on thinking like I've been bitten or something. And I look down, it's like, no, it's just my fat ankles. I had to take off all my rings because I was in bed and I couldn't sleep. I was getting so irritated because my fingers were so itchy. I felt like I was having an allergic reaction, but I couldn't get my rings off my fingers to itch them properly because my knuckles were so fat. So I had to get Zach to help me get my rings off. And I was being such a diva. I was literally in bed, lying there with my eye mask over my eyes, moaning like, ugh. And Zach was there like pulling my rings off for me. He had to go get some floss and like, I don't know what he did, but he got them off anyway. So yeah, and then I could give my fingers a good itch. But annoyingly, I can't get them back on. So I'm ringless right now. I feel exposed. I feel naked. I feel like I don't have a personality. I used to not be a ring girl, but ever since I have been a ring girl, it has been my entire personality. So I feel like I'm missing a part of myself, you know? I have HD nipples right now. HD. They look like they've been superimposed onto my boobs. They are so dark, so strange looking. They are so sensitive. I cannot have anyone touching, going near, even like coming within a meter radius of my nipples. It's annoying. Just get away, get away. And you can see them. Like, even if I wear a padded bra, like you can see those nipples through. They're like radioactive nipples that you can see them through my clothes. So I need to just like a cover up, but I'm not the kind of girl that is used to wearing bras. So I always forget. And then I'll be on Instagram stories, like chatting away. And then I'll post it and then I'll look at it and I'll be like, oh my God, you could just see my freaking nipples. You can see my freaking nipples. Pregnancy glow is hitting hard. I'm not going to lie, guys. I am so beautiful right now. I feel so beautiful. I feel like a beautiful, glowy, pregnant, fat, gorgeous goddess. Like I just feel so sexy and beautiful. I'm right on the cusp of jowl season. You know, jowl season? Every girl that hits like the late third trimester, you've been there. It's not cute, all right? I remember when my dear friend, Saffron, she was pregnant. Hello, Saffron. And she was like literally a week out of giving birth. And Saffron's like the most beautiful girl anyway, but pregnant is like, whoa, so beautiful. But then you hit that last week and we were FaceTiming. And I don't know if it was the angle. I don't know if it was the angle of the phone or maybe she was just jowl season for her. But the camera opened and I was like, whoa, it was like a jump scare. And I was saying, oh my God. She was like, I'm so jowly. I was like, yeah, you literally are. And we were just there for a few minutes just cackling at her jowls. Like it was undeniable. And I'm on the cusp of jowl season right now. It's not a cute look, but you know, the moment the baby's out, The jowls will be gone. You just have to get through it. So I'm just going to enjoy every day up until jowl season. The nesting urges are real, guys. The nesting urges are hitting hard. My house is a fucking shit tip right now and it's stressing me out. I'm seeing dirt and dust in places that I've never seen before, or at least I've seen it, but it hasn't bothered me. You know, I've seen the dust bunnies pile up. We've got a lot of paneling in this house, which sounds like a good idea, doesn't it? Oh, paneling. Whenever someone's like, oh, we're going to put panels in here, I think, okay, it's going to look cute, but oh my God, the dusting, dude. So you've got to get in on all those little crevices. If it's a surface, it needs to be dusted, right? So if you're putting paneling in your house, yeah, it's going to look gorgeous, but just know that all those little surfaces, those little ledges in the panels, they got to be clean. And up until this point, like, I haven't been that arsed about it. But now I'm like, okay, there's like an inch of dust now that needs to be dealt with. So, I'm seeing dirt in places that I've never seen it before. We have so much shit coming into our house, things that we need. Babies need things. And no storage, So we're finally sorting out the storage in this house. And we moved into this house and there was actually no inbuilt storage. It's not really something that I noticed when I came to view the place because they had wardrobes, like integrated wardrobes, but the motherfuckers took the wardrobes with them. So we came in and the only storage that we had was the flipping airing cupboard. And I can't fit jack shit in that airing cupboard. So it's taken us the best part of 2 years, believe it or not, 2 years to get a single wardrobe into this house. Now, in my bedroom, we don't have a wardrobe. We have like a railing built onto the wall. Zach did this it's kind of like a rustic, fucking pipe situation in our bedroom, which again sounds great, but your clothes do get covered in dust. So that's awesome. But anyway, it looks good. And we've needed a chest of drawers for, best part of 2 years. Haven't sorted that out until yesterday. Woody has needed a wardrobe in his room again. Haven't really sorted that out either. So now we've sorted it out. My pregnant ass brain, my stupid pregnant brain went on IKEA and ordered 1.5 wardrobes. Both of them don't fit. Neither of them fit. I put one frame of a short wardrobe in my basket. And then I went and measured it again, the room. And I was like, oh, well, actually, if we go floor to ceiling, we could fit the taller one in. So I was like, okay, cool. I managed to miss off like a centimetre of the wall. Also, I didn't appreciate that the walls are winky wonky. Like, it's an old house. It's not a new build where everything is like shh, 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 as it should be. Like, this is a winky wonky old house. So it's 99 centimetres wide in one place, but it's about 3 centimetres wide in another place. So I didn't take that into consideration. I measured it in one place. I was like, yeah, that'll fit probably. It doesn't fucking fit. Neither of the wardrobes fit. So cut to yesterday, we've got too many wardrobes now, if anything. We've got 2 bloody wardrobes in Woody's room. One of them doesn't have doors or drawers or a railing. And the other one is so fucking humongous and foreboding. And we have to somehow cram it into this space. We've got to basically find like a centimetre of space in between these 2 walls, which doesn't sound like much, but in terms of brick, there's no give in brick. So I don't know how we're going to squeeze this wardrobe into position. Anyway, I will keep you guys updated on Instagram. I'm sure maybe even by the time this goes out, I would have even spoken about it on Instagram and the wardrobe will be in or not, or it will be smashed through anger. I've never heard Zach F and Jeff so much as when he was trying to squeeze this wardrobe into this little cove in Woody's bedroom. It was a total shit show. And me just stood there with my pregnant brain thinking, whoops, this is my fault. And thinking he's going to want to divorce me after this, after the stress I've caused him. So anyway, we're finally sorting the storage out. To my right, I don't know if you could see, but we've got about 300 big plastic tubs that are going to go up in the attic to sort out the attic situation. And hopefully by the time this baby arrives, I'm going to be an organised queen. We'll see. I'll let you know. But yeah, nesting urges Very real. Everyone keeps on asking me, are you ready? Are you ready? Can you stop asking me? Am I ready? No, I'm not flipping ready. Are you ever ready? I guess that's the big question. No, I'm not fucking ready. Don't have a car seat. Don't have a buggy. Don't have, again, storage sorted. Don't have anywhere to put her fucking clothes. Behind the camera, I've got a big bag of fucking clothes. Nowhere to put them. Nowhere to put them. So no, I'm not ready. Everyone needs to shut the fuck up. Also, people ask me, is the nursery ready? What nursery? What nursery? Is the corner of my bedroom. The crib is up. We do have a crib. And that is up and waiting. But that's pretty much all we've got sorted. We've got a bouncer. I've got a playmat. What else do babies need? I've genuinely forgotten. This is the issue with having a long gap in between your babies. You just genuinely forget. Sure, the first child's going to be older and they can help you and all the rest of it. But I've forgotten what is required of me. I got my tits. So the baby's going to be fed, hopefully. What else? Genuinely, not sure. Don't know. Let me know. What am I missing? What else do I need apart from tits? I'm just a girl that likes a good cup of coffee. But what I don't love about coffee is the negative side effects. The jitters, the anxiety, the headaches, the terrible skin. Does caffeine do that to anyone else or is that just me? Gives me breakouts. Now, caffeine itself is a nootropic, but it's also known for raising cortisol levels. But Miranda, what does that mean? What is cortisol? Well, thank you for asking. High levels of cortisol can be responsible for weight gain, high blood pressure, bad concentration, and poor sleep. Now, adaptogens are known for helping the body manage cortisol levels. And that is why mixing caffeine with adaptogens is a winning combo. And I know you're asking, but what is an adaptogen? How do I mix it with my caffeine? Well, you don't need to worry about that, honey, okay? Because London Nootropics has done it for you. You've got lion's mane, you've got Rhodiola rosea, you've got cordyceps, you've got chaga, you've got ashwagandha. All these different mushrooms have fantastic properties. They are known for helping manage stress, helping you relax, helping your cognition, your brain function, help balance your physical and mental well-being. Now, London Nootropics actually use the highest concentration of ashwagandha root available to buy, so you know it's good shit. Head to London Nootropics to get yours now. Make sure you use my code MirandaFox20 for 20% off at checkout. That is MirandaFox20 for 20% off. I find myself constantly hungry, but also unable to eat a normal amount. Don't get me wrong, I'm still overeating. I get so hungry and then I have a full meal and I stuff my fucking face, but I forget that there's a literal cantaloupe melon sat on my stomach, taking up all the space. But by the time that sensation hits my brain, I've already shoveled 3 portions of this food into my face and it's too late. And then I'm uncomfortably full for the rest of the night. And my night is ruined. So I feel like I've had a gastric band fitted or something because there was no room in my stomach. Gotta say, she's an aggressive girl. She's not aggressive. She's assertive. Right, guys, let's change the narrative about females. I was reading my book and she literally kicked my book off my belly. I lost where I was on the page because the kick was so aggressive. And I was drinking a cup of tea. Mate, when I say my mug went flying, it went flying. This kick was so huge. Her movements are so intense. And I really don't remember Woody's being this intense. And so it is concerning for me, what kind of girl do I have coming out my womb? I guess if I think about it, do I want my girl to be this placid little shy thing? No, I don't. We don't need any more placid women in the world. I want a girl coming out kicking and screaming, just not at me. Don't kick me, but just kick the world, She's going to kick herself into a cesarean if she's not careful. She's going to pierce through the skin. I have spoken online about what this means for the baby. I've asked mums and dads, was there any correlation between crazy movements, crazy babies? And some people were absolutely. But others were Absolutely not. So I'm going to just listen to those ones and I'm going to ignore everyone that said absolutely, because that's science, you know? You do an experiment, you have your findings, and then you just look at the ones that correlate to what you want to find, right? That's how everyone else does it. So that's what I'm going to do. Oh, I'm having the most weird, like vivid dreams. I remember this from when I was pregnant with Woody as well. It was the same. So I'm not going to bore you talking too much about my dreams because no one cares, but I will just tell you about one. So imagine millions of tiny green men with black hair. They look kind of like devilish, and they've got black trousers with horns coming out the hips, and they're all in unison, linked arms, millions of them, and swaying their hips and smiling at me and looking at me really intensely with their big black eyes. That was the whole dream. And I woke up from that dream and I thought, what the frickin' frick was that? Let's talk about those titties. All right, my boobs are so massive and hot and veiny and heavy. Like these tits are so hot all the time. And they got big blue juicy veins. And they're so big that when I enter a new room, I have to look down and check that my tits are in the room with me. I've got to be like, oh, where's my tits? Oh, they're over here. They're on the driveway still. Sorry, let me just grab my tits. You know, that's how it feels. These boobs are so big. My sex drive has petered out, which I'm sure to my husband's delight, he's very grateful that I'm not hounding him for sex every 2 minutes. He's just like, whoo, enjoying his life. But we are stuck for positions now when we do have sex. Lots of side-lying sex, which is comfortable. I do miss a speed bump. Gotta say, speed bump is one of my favourite positions, and can't be doing that with a big old baby on your belly. So that's kind of annoying. There is always doggy, but I just don't love doggy style. You know, it's just not that comfortable for me. I just don't feel like it gets in there. We like to get it right up there, you know. There is always, you know, we do sometimes do lying on the back, lying. What is that? Is that missionary? Is that missionary where you're just lying on your back? But you obviously can't do that for too long while you're heavily pregnant. And also, listen, we've all got our angles, don't we? And most angles, I am a beautiful goddess. I know that. But that particular angle of me lying flat on my back, it's not the angle that I would choose. That's not my sexiest angle. You know, when you're walking along a beach and you see like a jellyfish that's just been like stranded, like a dead jellyfish, and it's all just like flobbed out in different directions that it shouldn't be flobbed out in. And you're like, oh, that is a sad, sorry sight. That's a sight for sore eyes. Well, that's kind of what I look like when I'm lying on my back. And I know I do. And I just think, no, when I'm trying to have sex, I was like, no, it's not cute, is it? You know, like when you're walking through a park and you see a bouncy castle that's been deflated and it's just like, I don't want to do that to myself. So I don't mind a little bit of back lying, but I don't feel sexy when I'm lying on my back. So I guess side lying it is. But I've only got a few weeks left until we go on our full sex ban. Now, this is a tip I give to any moms not wanting to go into labour early. Because did you know that cum can induce labour? True. So it does something to the cervix. It like softens the cervix. And, excuse me, I just burped. To be honest, like I don't want my cervix softened before October. So once we get into October, Zach Fox, get that sexy ass over here, boy. But until then, we've got maybe like 2 more weeks until I go full sex ban. So Zach, get it while it's hot, baby. get this deflated bouncy castle while it's hot. Get this dead jellyfish fall down on the beach while you can, Poppy. Come and get it. I would say the birth anxiety, the actual like anxiety of giving birth is creeping in, if I'm honest. You know, it's a totally rational, normal amount of anxiety and fear that I have before you are about to push a baby out your fanny hole. You know, it's normal. It would be crazy if I didn't have any anxiety about it. I think last time I went in blindly, kind of naively, thinking I'll just breathe my baby out. It didn't quite end that way. And occasionally, you know, most stuff that you see online to do with birth, like birth videos and women giving birth, you know, lots of it is calm and peaceful because they're the ones that want to share their births because they look good and they're handling it. Whereas a lot of women, it's like very raw and crazy and animalistic and like painful. It's really painful. And lots of women don't want to post that moment of them. It's so raw and so, I mean, most of us aren't recording it, let's be real. But I think the moment that I gave birth, like you would never ever see a moment like the moment I had online, you know? So the majority of the birth videos that you see online are of the calm, peaceful, joyful, orgasmic births that women have because they're the ones that are sharing it, right? And so you get into this false sense of like what it's going to be like. Well, all these women seem fine, so I'll be fine. But then very occasionally you see an actual real moment of a woman like deep in that labor pain of that baby coming out, and you see the ring, she's experiencing the ring of fire, and her body's like doing this crazy thing, and she is like howling, and you're like, okay, yeah, I remember it now. I remember it. Thank you for reminding me, babe. Because we do forget, don't we? We really do forget. The brain is very powerful. And when I look at my apps, like it doesn't make me feel any better because it talks about the size of the baby. And like, you know, it's the size of a lion cub right now. It's like, okay, well, that's kind of big, you know? Have you seen lion cub on those nature documentaries? They're not that small. Well, those apps are kind of bullshit though, let's be real, because, you know, a couple of weeks ago, she was the size of a box of chocolates. Well, what does that fucking mean? I mean, you know, after eights, piece of piss, no problem. Lindt Choco Balls, easy, any day. Fucking Christmas time, family tub, share bucket of Quality Streets, no thank you. So like, what chocolate box are we talking about? Right now, she feels like a sharing tub of Quality Streets, gotta be honest. Oh, vaginal discharge, guys. Okay, wait, let me get comfortable. Last thing I will touch on is the vaginal discharge. I keep on thinking I'm weeing my pants, but then I go to the toilet and it's just discharge. It's like a gush of discharge. Like, what is that about? I've stopped denying that I need to wear panty liners now. Like I just do. I need some extra protection. I don't know what I was doing, just ruining my pants. I've also got fat fanny syndrome right now, which again, I think most girls suffer with in late pregnancy, where their fanny just gets really fat. So we've got a bit of a situation where my fanny keeps swallowing my pants. And so a lot of my pants are not suitable for my fanny. So I end up like not wearing pants because it's not comfortable. But then my discharge is dribbling down my legs and ruining my trousers. So I just need to go and get some big pants. That's what I need to do. Some big pants for my big fanny and some big panty liners for my massive flow of discharge. Anyway, thanks for joining us today, guys. It's lovely to have you here. On that note, we're going to get straight in to some juicy dilemmas. Oh, speaking of juice, let me have a sip of my juice jug. I am excited to not be pregnant anymore and not be drinking this much cordial. Just remember that I like the taste of water. This happened again in my last pregnancy with sauerkraut. I just kind of forgot that I didn't eat a jar of sauerkraut every day normally. And when I was pregnant, I was just chowing down through sauerkraut, munching all day on sauerkraut. And I was thinking like, God, like this is, you know, I guess I just love sauerkraut. No, you don't. You're just pregnant. And it's the same with cordial. I know I'll get over it as soon as the baby's out. But right now, that is really hitting the spot. You know what's mad? The fact that like we were just for years putting products on our skin that no one thought to check the ingredients of. How funny is that? Could you imagine the shock of the first person that turned over the deodorant packet and saw aluminium? in the ingredients list. Do you seriously mean I have just been spraying metals into my skin? And no one thought to tell me. In a world where it feels like we are constantly being blindsided by companies telling us to use these products when secretly they're really toxic for us, I rest easy at night knowing that I am only putting Nomcos on my skin. A brand that prides themselves in using only the essential ingredients, no filler products, no metals, no, sneaky little ingredients that are secretly giving us cancer behind our backs. Their products are all vegan and cruelty free, but the best part about this brand is that it's built by real people and their genuine need for the products that worked. So everything has been tried and tested, formulated by them, tried and tested on them, and hand poured and made in Manchester. So when you order from Nomcos, you are literally buying directly from Demeji and Saffron. They are the ones in the lab cooking up your lip balms, cooking up your moisturizers, hand pouring themselves and packing them out to you with love, care and attention. And luckily you can try these products and fall in love with them just like I did by using my code Miranda for 10% off at checkout. That is Miranda, just my name, Miranda, for 10% off at checkout. My favorite products that they do are easily the deodorant. It is my favorite natural deodorant that I have ever used, and the Cloud body butter. It literally goes on your skin like butter, but it absorbs into the skin. So you don't get that oily, greasy feeling. You just feel so moisturized for over 24 hours. The first time I used this moisturizer, I could not believe it. I put it on my skin in the morning, and then the next night, I hadn't showered, classic me, but the next night I was lying in bed and I was like, why is my skin feeling so good? And I realized it's because I wasn't using my dusty, crusty moisturizer I was using before. I was using Nomcos Cloud body butter. I met my friend Saffron in town and I gave her a hug and I was just touching her arm and I was like, what is that on your skin? And she was like, it's Nomcos. And that is when she handed me a pot, my first pot of this body butter. And I've been a firm believer in it ever since. I cannot recommend it enough. Use my code Miranda and get 10% off at checkout, all right? Right, should we get into some dilemmas? Let's go, mummies. My partner is an angel, the best dad I could wish for our 3-year-old boy, and works really hard to be around while trying to progress in his career too. I'm now pregnant with number 2, and as we crunch the numbers, it's becoming clear that we are going to struggle to continue with our current financial situation. We both work and earn about the same. It's not bad salaries for living in London, but it feels like pennies as we struggle to get to the end of the month with every paycheck. We are both in the culture sector. I feel like you'd feel good. You feel like a good person being in the culture sector, wouldn't you? You feel like, oh, I'm adding value into the world. That's nice. That's got to feel good. If we're being real, it's basically time one of us sold our soul to go make the big bucks. And let's face it, the patriarchy is real. And if I'm the one taking mat leave, breastfeeding, etc., it's not very likely it's me that can switch up my career right now. The problem is my 10 out of 10 partner has 1 out of 10 financial ambition and cannot seem to leave his passion job. But your gal needs nice things and I want to keep our London life. I want him to sell his soul so I can buy some new bras. Am I being unreasonable? Obviously I am, but what do I do? This actually really reminds me of my own partner when we first got together. Now, obviously, you guys have been together for a while, but Zach really just did not have drive. He didn't have drive, and I think maybe it came from growing up with money, but also he was working a lot as like a child actor. And an actor when I met him. He wasn't a child. He was not a child actor when I met him. He was an adult actor. But I think money was just like always sort of available. And so he never had to get that drive for it, if that made sense. And so when he met me and he wasn't getting hired as an actor anymore, he still didn't have that drive. And so it took him a long, long time, and also me breaking up with him, for him to find his drive, and he found it in the end. So people can change. Basically, let's go through your options. Number 1, sugar daddy. Number 2, move out of London. Number 3, threaten him with a divorce. Number 4, start a side hustle to make passive income. Or number 5, which is always an option, and never forget it, foot pics. If you are willing to get it out, someone is willing to pay for it. So anyway, let's go through these options and break it down. Sugar daddy. Lots and lots of girls are doing this. And there's lots of websites out there, honey, that you can get on. www.seekingarrangement.com. Okay, I used to have an account with them. So there's some guy out there earning a fat whack that will want to buy you some nice bras. Say, what do you want from me? I want a gift card at Bravissimo. Now, our second option is moving out of London. Now, I'm not going to spend too much time on this because I think, like you said, you like your London life. If it was a serious option you would consider, you wouldn't be messaging me. You'd be too busy on Rightmove, looking at houses, you know? Also, do think there's like this unrealistic expectation of moving out of London is going to solve all your issues, when really, to have like a cheaper lifestyle, you got to move so far out of London. That's why we live in Blackpool right now. It's because we wanted to improve our lifestyle. We wanted our money to go further in every sense of the word. So, you know, say if you move to somewhere like Bishop Stortford, the houses might be marginally cheaper. But in terms of lifestyle, food, coffees, restaurants, everything costs the fucking same as London. It's not like, you know, up here where you're paying like 20p for a coffee. So it's still pretty bougie around there. You got to move hours out of London. Also, then you've got to consider commuting and all the rest of it. Like, there's other things to consider that actually will make your life more expensive by you moving out of London if you're still working in London. If you're still working in London, it doesn't necessarily make sense. So we'll park that idea for now. But hey, honey, listen, while we're here, just get on Rightmove and look at the prices in Blackpool. Just out of interest, all right? It is very interesting. It's like they haven't got the memo yet about house prices. They haven't realised that the house prices in this country are mental. Because I bought this house for 145k. Oh, what? Are you crazy? Are you crazy? Obviously, the culture sector in Blackpool is not so hippity happening. But maybe if you guys moved here, maybe it would. We've got Manchester down the road. Next up, divorce. Now listen, okay? It's just a little threat. It's just a threat. Don't have to actually go through with it. You just move out for a few weeks and say, you need to get your ass into gear and prioritize. You need to realize where your priorities lie. And his priorities will always obviously lie with his family and his wife and what his wife wants. Sometimes he just needs to realize that. And you can do that by threatening him. Say, listen, honey, if you're not willing to earn the big bucks for me, some man is, all right? And I've already found him on seekingarrangement.com. I would say though, listen, it is an unstable market out there. So if you do end up divorcing him and you're looking for another guy, one, we are going into World War III and lots of the young men are going to get conscripted. Conscript, is that my word? Yes, they're going to get conscripted into the army. So go for the older guys. Go for a retired man. They've been there, they've done that, they've earned their fat check and they are just chilling on a boat somewhere, you know? And they're too old to be called up. So you know you're going to have him at the end of the war. He's going to be safe at home with you, protecting you. You're going to be on a nice boat in Nice. So that's my top tip for you. If you are going to divorce your husband, get yourself an older guy. Our next option is really our only serious option, if we're thinking about it, and it's a side hustle. Now, most people, when they think they are going to start a side hustle, they make the mistake of thinking it needs to be a passion thing. It needs to be something that they love and that they know really intimately. And, you know, I just love candles and I want to sit there and make candles, or I love soap and I want to make my own vegan soap brand. You don't know. You can go on Amazon, set up an Amazon shop, and you can do like automatic printable things that you can be like totally hands off. What I did recently was I went on ChatGPT and I said, ChatGPT, listen, I want to earn an extra £300 to £500 for my family of passive income every month. These are my skills. Could you think of, you know, 10, 15 ideas, realistic, low effort ideas that I could use to generate passive income. And it spat out loads of shit. But one idea really, I thought, oh, I could do that. Once it spits out the ideas, you don't then have to be like, okay, now I've got to figure out how to make this thing. No, you say, okay, thanks. I like the idea. Can you give me a step-by-step guide on how to do this? And it will do it. It will give you a step-by-step guide on how to achieve this thing. So just give that a go and see if it works. Maybe if you and your partner both did that, then you would have 2 passive income streams, and you haven't had to sell your soul and go and work in some corporate land. You just have your little Amazon shop and sell your soul to Jeff Bezos instead. And if you don't want to do that, it's too complicated, you can't be asked, then get them little trotters out, baby girl. You could do weird shit as well, like niche things, like your feet digging into like cake or something, and like pushing your toes into different foods. That is genius. If my feet weren't 10 out of 10 minging, I would do that. Next.
Next one.
Before I had my baby, I was the most organised, active person I knew. I worked out 4 times a week, I kept my house clean, cooked healthy meals, and just generally looked after myself. Now my little girl's 6 months old and I can barely recognise myself. The house is chaos, I live on biscuits and coffee, I can't remember the last time I exercised. I'm still paying for my gym membership, by the way, thinking it will motivate me to go, but it doesn't. It just makes me feel bad about myself. I don't even have the energy to care, and that's what scares me. My partner tries to be supportive, but I can feel him getting frustrated too. He works all day and comes home to a mess and a girlfriend who hasn't washed her hair in 2 weeks. I feel like I'm letting everyone down, including myself, but also my daughter. I want her to grow up with a mum who takes pride in herself and everything she does. This isn't the mum I thought I'd be. Let's just talk about that last little point before we get stuck in. No one is the mum that they thought they would be when their baby is 6 months old. You got to think, right? At this job role of mum that you've just taken on, you don't know what you're doing. If you look at every other job that you've ever done, were you good at it when you first started? No, you were shit. You were just figuring it out. You just come out of training, you didn't know what you were fucking doing. Oh my God, when I started being a PT, I was so shit. I was having my clients do like jumping jacks to warm up and stuff. And what? Someone paying me £60 an hour for at that point to do jumping jacks. Like I was rubbish. But then over the years, I got better and I found my style and I got more knowledgeable and more experienced. And motherhood is exactly the same. Oh my God, I remember my first waitressing job. No training, no experience. And firstly, I turned up wearing odd socks, not allowed, didn't know. Secondly, I put down this meal that was like a mushroom risotto and I called it beef stroganoff. I said beef stroganoff and the other waiter was like, no, it's a mushroom risotto. And I was like, oh yeah, obviously, like I'm literally holding the plate. Why did I not know that? But again, by the time I left that job 3 years later, I was snippy, snappy, amazing at my job. And motherhood really is the same thing. If you look at your motherhood journey from the day that you became a mum to the day that you die, that's your whole motherhood journey. You are at like the first smidgen of that journey. If you think of it like a ruler, right? You're not even at the first millimeter yet. You got time, baby girl. You got time. So just give yourself time to just ease into the role and figure out what that role means to you and what that looks like. You know, you're not going to have it all figured out. Good news is she doesn't remember a thing. She doesn't fucking know what's going on right now. Her memory is not going to kick in until she's like between 3 and 4. So in terms of like being the mum that you want her to be for her and like inspiring her and like doing all this kind of stuff. I know exactly what you're talking about, by the way. It's like you want to be this inspiring mum that she looks up to and she admires and she's like, mum really takes care of herself. She's killing it. Like I know what you're talking about. You don't have to be there yet until your kid's like 4. So we got a few years yet, okay, to figure it out. Now, The only thing that matters in these early years is that she feels loved and secure. And the fact that you've not washed your hair in 2 weeks because you're too busy being a brilliant mum probably shows that your daughter is loved and cared for and supported, right? Because you're too busy. You're not looking after yourself. Do I support your method? No, I don't, because I think you're a person too and you have needs that need to be addressed and looked after. But can I appreciate how you get into this position? Absolutely. So I think we just need to fucking take a bit of a chill pill, to be honest, hun. Secondly, let's just stop comparing our pre-baby self to our post-baby self right now. This podcast is supported by the beautiful Estrella custom jewelry, giving you minimal and meaningful personalized pieces. Everything is handmade in Portugal. It's a perfect gift either for yourself or someone that you love. When you go to our website, you can shop the collection and personalize your piece with a pendant, choosing the initial on it and the style as well as a stone. I have the emerald quartz gemstone and I wear it every day. I've got a little pendant that says a W on for Woody. I wear it every day. It's become my favorite staple necklace. It's just so simple. It's classy. It's classic. And I never take it off. Use the code nappyhour15 for 15% off at checkout. Like you cannot physically compare your pre-baby self to your postpartum self. They are two different women. I used to be able to go to the gym 4 times a week and now I can't go to the gym. Oh, my house used to be clean. Now it's a mess. Yeah, because you got a fucking baby. Of course it's going to be a mess. Of course you're not going to the gym 4 times a week. You got a baby. What do you think it was going to be like, hun? You need to stop expecting yourself to live up to these standards of like, you know, a single, carefree version of yourself. You're not that person anymore. You've got shit to do. You've got this little baby to take care of. And they take a lot of energy and time. And yeah, it gets in the way of us living our old life. It does. But our old life was, and this might be a little controversial to say, especially for women that don't want to have kids, but if I compare my old life to my life now, my old life was very self-centered and it was, you know, all about me. What do I want to do? What do I want to eat? What do I want? Where do I want to go? Which, don't get me wrong, that's beautiful. And for people that choose to live their life like that, awesome for you. But once you have a kid, I think it gives your life this new dimension that you didn't really know. You can't be so self-centered anymore, basically. You have to think of this other being. And that takes time and mental space. This isn't going to be how you feel forever. Eventually, you're going to find the balance of looking after them and looking after yourself. And you're going to feel much more in the flow of motherhood. I would say it's going to take you at least a year. This is why the first year of motherhood is so hard for a lot of women, because we're so used to prioritizing ourselves, and then suddenly we don't prioritize ourselves at all. We're only prioritizing this little being because we feel like we need to do that. And then suddenly you look in the mirror and you're like, who the fuck is that? I don't recognize this person. I don't even know what I like to eat or do or wear anymore. And then you've got to try and find this new version of yourself. And often we're trying to find the old version of ourselves. We're trying to get back to that girl because I know her. I know what she liked to do. And she's familiar and like I miss her and all the blah, blah, blah. But actually, once you accept that version of yourself is gone, and that's okay. And then on the other side of this horrible, messy, chaotic journey is the new version of yourself that is better and more selfless and more purposeful and stronger. And she looks a little different now. And that's fine. And let's, instead of looking back, let's just look forward. Don't bounce back. We're bouncing forward. Okay? So let's just accept that we're going to bounce forward now rather than bouncing back. In terms of getting your flow again and feeling motivated to look after yourself, what I really would suggest is trying not to put any restrictions on yourself at the moment. You know, I think back to when I was struggling with my body and eating. So I struggled quite badly with body dysmorphia and disordered eating when I was younger. And I would always buy clothes that were too small for me, thinking it's going to motivate me to get skinny. That's going to be the motivation I need. My wardrobe's just not going to fit me, and so it's going to shame me into eating less. Did it work? No, it didn't. It actually made me binge because I felt sad and shit about myself. And so it made me hate myself even more, and then having the inverse effect of what I wanted it to have. And I do fear that gym membership is doing that to you. It's like a form of self-harm. It's like, don't cancel it because soon I'm going to hate myself enough to go. Listen, babe, cancel the gym membership. Just cancel it. Just get rid of it. Take that pressure off for now. When we're ready, we can get back to it when we're ready. But right now, you're not ready, and that is okay. So instead, what we're going to do is we're going to cancel the gym membership, and then whatever gym membership, whatever cost that was, every month you can put it into a little pot and have a little bit of self-care with that, you know. With that, you're going to go buy yourself some new clothes that fit you and you feel good in, and take yourself out for lunch once a week or something, you know, in terms of like eating good meals again. Don't put any pressure on yourself to make these healthy, nutritious or meal prep or meal plan or anything right now. Let's just focus on one thing. Okay, so from next week onwards, I'm going to focus on bringing more protein into my meals. That way I'm going to feel more energized. I'm going to feel satiated. And then instead of like cutting out, I'm not going to eat sugar, I'm not going to eat biscuits, and I'm blah, 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 all these strict rules. Stop it, because you're not going to stick to it. We can just keep on adding more and more things into our life that make us feel good. And then hopefully we'll see the benefit of those things, and that will be our motivation. Postpartum, like mums do not need shame and guilt as motivators. We need love and we need compassion. So let's make that a focus. Next. This one is a fun one, guys. We have a couple in the building right now. They're writing this dilemma together. So me and my partner are actually writing this together. We both love and watch the pod when baby is asleep, and we keep coming back to this same disagreement and thought it would be fun to let you settle it on the podcast. Since having our baby, we've realised our relationship has turned into some weird 1950s throwback, and we clearly are not enjoying it. I, mum, feel like I do everything around the house without even thinking, while he swears he's constantly on baby duty and needs a break and is always cleaning, even though he's also working. We want to know who's got it harder. We have one day of childcare as I work Fridays, but apart from that, I'm full-time mumming while he works full-time but is around on the weekends. Do you and your partner struggle with the same argument, and what's your thoughts? Okay. The only way to settle this is to get really, really petty and to write down everything that each of you does to contribute to the home and the family. Let's write it down. Let's see whose list is longer. And not only that, but let's get even pettier and let's put a score next to that thing. So, 1 out of 10 difficulty wise of how much that thing drains you. So for instance, taking the bins out. 2. It's a 2. It's kind of low. Don't have to do it that often. Every couple of days we take the bins out. Don't have to go very far. It's fine. Laundry, I'm going to give that solid 6.5. Laundry for the house, whoever's doing the laundry, that fucking sucks. If you are full-time working, that's a lot. I'm going to say that's a solid 8 to 10, depending on the job. Key workers, labor-intensive, brain-intensive work, 8 to 10. If you're a fucking librarian, I'd say that's pretty chill. I'm going to give you a solid 5.5. Full-time parenting, solo parenting, 8 to 10. Easy peasy, 8 to 10. So again, go through everything that you do, give it a score, tally up, and whoever has the highest number is the winner. Sometimes when you have these arguments, the best thing to do is just to get extremely petty about everything. Just feels good sometimes, doesn't it? If you want me to settle it, I don't want to assume, because to assume makes an ass out of you and me, but I'm going to assume anyway, I'm going to do it anyway, that you are, full-time mumming, which means you're doing the majority of the cleaning, lots of cooking, like the food shops, you're working 1 day a week. Straight off the bat, I'm going to say mommy has it harder. Sorry. A good way of settling this as well is asking yourself, would you want to swap places with your partner? No way in hell would I want to swap places with Zach. And that's because I think he has it harder. He's like the sole provider of our family and he carries that weight. And for me, I will take doing the laundry and raising Woody over that any day. Hopefully he feels appreciated. And I find that it's so much easier to sit in whatever role that you are playing in the family, whether that's the primary parent or the primary provider. It's way easier to sit in that role and when you feel appreciated. And so ask yourselves, would I want to swap places with the person? If the answer is fuck yeah, I want to swap places with her. Yeah, I want to swap places with him. Then maybe they do have it much easier than you. Or maybe you're not appreciating everything that that person is actually doing for that role. And this is when our tally chart comes in. Let's get petty. You know, sometimes it's not about who's had it harder. Because swings and roundabouts, isn't it? But what is important is that you guys really are coming together and creating something beautiful. You're creating your family and you're bringing your skills together, different skills, doing different jobs and bringing them together. And that really is what matters, isn't it, guys? Coming together and making something beautiful. But mum has it harder. And mummies, that is all we have time for today. Thank you so much for joining me in my living room. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have not rated and reviewed this podcast at this point, I just want you to fucking leave me alone. Okay, it's not good enough. Open your little app up and give this podcast 5 stars. Don't give it anything less. I don't care about honest feedback. I don't care. 4 stars, but she swears too much. Shut up. Okay, shut up. Just give me 5 stars. And if you have anything going on in your life that is pissing you off, bring it over here. Let's talk about it. Let's talk it out on the podcast. Thank you for joining me. I love you so much. I will see you next week. Mwah.